All right. Well, let me just start it off by just letting you guys know that this is a great time of year for an ice sculpture.
Mm.
And if you need one, you know where to go. We've mentioned it. If you're a previous listener, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ice Designs Houston. Uh, just hit them up on Instagram at Ice Designs Houston and check out all of their beautiful ice sculptures. They spend countless hours making these, and it's worth every penny. If you want to have a little savings, just hit up Josh at Ice Designs Houston. Let him know that you're a DadPod listener, and he'll give you 10% off your first order. They've got pretty much any design that you can think of. They can help you out, see if they can get your vision to come true on an ice sculpture. And it's not just ice sculptures. If you need like some custom ice cubes or something like that for a get together or a party or a wedding or whatever it is, just call Ice Designs Houston. They're a local family owned, family run business. Support your local business, Ice Designs Houston.
Mm. All right, guys. Well, everybody needs a body shop sometimes. Who do you call? Well, I'll tell you who to call. You call MaWi Auto, that's who. MaWi Auto is located on 426 West Gulf Bank Road in Houston, Texas 77037. Their phone number is 346 275 5498. And what's awesome about them is that they're a great body shop. They will work with you on getting help with your deductible, and in a lot of cases, they'll even help you pay your deductible. That's pretty cool. So they work with all types of insurance companies. They give you hassle-free claims handling. You get free towing. They'll if you wreck your car, they'll tow it directly to their facilities at no cost. All insurance is accepted, and if you need an estimate, you can get a free estimate. So hit them up right away. That's MaWi Auto in Houston.
Mm.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, let's get that. What button am I pressing down here?
Oh yeah, right here. I got you right here. Hold on.
Hmm. DadPod, we up in it.
Special Dad Pod.
Oh yeah, special Mother's Day.
Special edition.
Shout out,
Mm.
word to your mother.
Mm. All right.
Mm.
Well, man, it's been a little while. I think we missed a week or so, and of course, we still have other ones that we're editing and working on. And
Yeah, we got a lot in the can that's
yeah.
been recorded, but still needs
It's still in
some
post
finishing
production,
touches.
you know. You know how it is. So yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing this one with only one camera, so we can turn around pretty quick because it's a special holiday coming around, and it's Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yesterday was actually Mexican Mother's Day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so my whole family in the group chat was, messaging everybody was saying Happy Mexican Mother's Day, and my wife's not Mexican, but she's the mom of a Mexican.
Oh
So
yeah,
she
that's true.
counts. So she counts. So
You
happy
know,
belated Mexican Mother's Day to my beautiful wife, Rebecca. Love you. And, in a few days here on Sunday, it'll be the other Mother's Day.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a restaurant in the Woodlands that's called Mexican Mom. I've never been there, but I've heard that it's good.
Oh, yeah, Mexican mom.
Yeah.
What do they sell there? What do they make? Is it empanadas?
It's just Mexican food as far as
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
But
That
I
makes
need
me
to
think
try
of my Mexican mom.
Yeah, I mean, I am white, so I don't have a Mexican mom,
Do
but
whites have, I guess they have casseroles, right?
my sister is married to a guy of
Oh.
Mexican descent.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, her son is half Mexican, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So she's a Mexican mom,
Mm. Mm.
based
Right
on
on.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Happy Mother's Day to our listeners and our sponsors. And, man, we just, so
So,
blessed to have a lot of great moms in our lives.
yeah.
You
So
know?
so today we're actually going to talk about the people that we made moms.
Oh, yeah.
and that's our wife. So Renee, why don't you just get us started? I'll just ask a little leading question that'll get
Sure.
you thinking in that direction.
Okay.
So, Renee,
Yes.
just tell us the love story of Renee and Rebecca. How did that happen? Like, just give us like a semi brief synopsis of your meeting and courtship and marriage.
Okay. Okay. Well, boy, oh boy, I'm getting butterflies in my stomach just thinking about it, man.
Hmm.
I remember we were. Oh gosh, I think the year was 2016. It was early in the year. I remember that, and it was like my last semester of my undergrad in college, and I don't know. I was in a phase of my life where I was like looking forward to the future and getting into my new career and all that, and I think it was like March or April. I can't really remember. I used to know, and I remember it was like a Tuesday night Bible study. It might have been a Sunday when I
Hmm.
met her. Really, just really, classic story. Beautiful girl walks in the room, and me all nervous and not knowing, what to say. Just trying to introduce myself and try to be as outgoing as I am. People say I'm outgoing, but I don't know. I'm really introverted, I feel, and I have to work hard at being outgoing. Do you feel that way?
Nah, dude.
You think I'm outgoing?
Yeah, I think you're pretty. Maybe you might be an introvert. Is like there's two types of. Not to go too far off the subject here, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
We're
feel
talking
like there's
about
two
yeah.
types of like me personally. I'm an introverted extrovert, meaning that I recharge my batteries by being around people,
Do you?
that's the extroverted tendency.
Wow.
But when somebody sees me in a large group, I'm not necessarily like the most outgoing person unless it's like people I really know.
Wow. Okay.
And so I appear like I'm introverted, but in reality, I recharge my batteries with people, which is an extroverted tendency. So
Oh,
maybe you're the
I'm the opposite.
opposite, where you recharge your batteries alone, but when you're around people, it appears as though you're an extrovert because
I'm
you,
like the Energizer Bunny
yeah,
around people because I mean I'm charged up, man. I'm
yeah.
good.
So we're like that's
Yeah.
why we're homies, yo, because
Yeah.
we complete each other.
You complete me.
So talk about how you met Rebecca and she completed you.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
Bring it back
Uh,
to that.
this is actually going to be our love story. We'll get to that later. Oh man. So yeah, it was 2016. I don't know. It's just like I felt like I was in a good place, like coming into like my own. I I had a good. I felt like I had a good purpose in my life, and I was like serving at my church, finishing up school. I remember that was a season that was really hard, just constantly working and holding down two jobs and commuting and doing this and just dreaming, man. I remember that, just dreaming. And I meet Rebecca. She just comes into my life, and right away she was like real cool. She's down to hang out with everybody at church and stuff, and I could tell that she really loves the Lord and all that, and that's something I was kind of having trouble finding, I guess,
Mhm.
with like girls I was like maybe sort of looking to date. I went on a few first dates, not too many second dates kind of thing. And I don't know. I think a big part of that is also I knew what I was looking for. And I think Rebecca, in my eyes, very early on, I could see that she, was kind of what I was looking for, really. And so, yeah. Um, she was, she's very funny. She told a hilarious story about, all kinds of stuff going on at her hospital where she was working at, and I thought it was hilarious. And we started. She would come to all the events. So I would plan events for the singles ministry, and we would go to like bowling and, go out and have a game night or something like that. And not really game night, but it was like a night at Dave and Buster's and things like that. And she would come, and you know, it was great. So yeah, but then we were kind of just friends, like talking for like a month. And I remember one time we were at because we would go out to eat after church with our church group, our singles group or whatever, and we went to a burger place, and she was mixing up her ketchup and her mayonnaise. And anybody who knows me from when I was a kid, I did that like all the time. That's kind of what my family sort of did, and I thought that was interesting, and that made me just like have another connection with her and talk, like her more, I guess. At this point, I just really liked her, man. I don't know. It was like a month. She'd been coming for about a month. I knew her for about a month. It was just, I don't know. Yeah, put myself out there, would walk her to her car, things like that. And I think she thought I was just being a nice guy. And I guess I was, but I also liked her, you know. And yeah, one day we just went out for coffee, and that was it, man. I think from then on, I knew that she was super interesting, super easy to talk to, and the conversation, I guess, sort of kind of flowed. And we were at a coffee shop for like 3 hours, and then we got hungry. We went out to dinner. Went to dinner for a long time too. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning and on a weeknight, and I was like, man, that was so fun. And yeah.
So then, how long did you date before you were like ready to propose?
A long time. So I after our
So
first
this
date,
was 2016 when you started dating.
yeah, 2016 we started
Yeah.
dating. I think we went on our first date maybe middle of April, and then I think we just went on a few more dates. Yeah, and then by like like May 18th was our when we first started dating. And I'll never forget when we officially became boyfriend and girlfriend. Um, she actually was in the middle of buying a car, for a new car, and we went to Chick-fil-A over here on the Beltway in West, and there was a little park where we stopped by to like kind of hang out, I guess, and look at we were like overlooked the lake, and we just thought it was beautiful, and we stopped and walked around the little park and sat down at the bench, and we were just talking, hanging out, and I think I asked her out, and then that's where we became boyfriend and girlfriend. And yeah, man. And then we dated for a while. Um, I guess maybe a year and a half. I finally had a good conversation with her dad to ask for her, hand in marriage. It took like 2 tries. I think the first one was just too early, and honestly, I think it was a little early, and Rebecca was upset, but I was not the least bit discouraged. I think it was upsetting, but I think I knew that we just needed time, and you know then things like that. But yeah, and then what was it? 18. Yeah, by like 17, I had approval, I guess, and then like March of 18th in 2018, dude, the wheels began to spin, right, on how I was gonna propose, and I was just thinking about all the great dates we had, the milestones in our relationships, like when we first had our DTR, our first
Oh yeah.
our first date, when I first met her family, things like that. I think I'm real sentimental about a lot of, little events and things. Like for a while I kept like ticket stubs of, things we did and dates we went on and whatnot. And I still remember certain dates, and yeah, man, I think, we went through a lot of things, and we got to know each other really well. I think during our time dating, the flood happened, the Harvey flood in 2017 happened. I mean, we went through an Astros championship together. We went through a lot,
Mm.
and yeah, and just dated for a while. I knew for a while. Got knew about the ring, and then when I was getting ready to propose, it was like a month or two, you know, where she was like, is he ever gonna, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But what was really happening is behind the scenes, I was, reaching out to family that was living out of town. Like, for example, her sister who lived in Oklahoma, and just trying to figure out, hey, I'm thinking about proposing on this day, and she was like, oh, I can't. What about this day? And I was like, yeah, no problem. What about okay? So shifting things
Uh
around,
huh.
and trying to keep everything a secret. I knew my boy Marco and Alex had to be there, and they were, figuring out a time when they could come because they both didn't
Yeah.
live in Houston
That's
either.
that's one of my regrets, man. I was supposed to be there, and at the time I was working for my father-in-law's company, roofing,
Oh
and
yeah,
we had a roof going on that day, and for some reason the crew was going really slow,
yeah,
and I couldn't make it because they weren't done yet.
yeah. But you went after the after party,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I
So
just
it's
didn't
all
make it
good.
to the
The
earlier
actual
part.
proposal.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it had to be on a day where we were going to have good weather because it was outside. And it was actually at the park where we sat down on the bench when we first got together. That's where I proposed. It was
Mm.
at that park. And there was like a little gazebo and ducks. And I also had to coordinate. So what I did was I wrote like 4 or 5 letters, handwritten letters. And she had like a little scavenger hunt that day. So she dressed up really nice, thinking that she's gonna go to like this corporate brunch for her sister's company. And so she was all dressed up, looked real beautiful and everything, and makeup and nails done and all that. And and then I wrote her a letter that says, "Hey, you're not really going to a brunch. You're gonna go on a scavenger hunt, and that's right. Today's gonna be a special day because you're gonna do a bunch of stuff." And she was like, "What?" There's a video of her because like her sister filmed it on her GoPro or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
And man, it was just so cool, like coordinating something like that. And
Mm.
yeah, like she went to that first coffee shop where we had our first date. And when we went there, her other sister joined her, and she was like, "What?" Her other sister was there, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm taking you to the next place." And so Hannah took her sister Hannah, her twin sister, took her to that coffee shop, and then I think her other sister Leah joined them, and then all three of them went to the sushi place where we had our first, like my first time meeting her family, which is Hannah
Mm.
and one of her friends. And then her sister Sarah was there, and they all had lunch. All three sisters, right? She had lunch with her two other sisters, and yeah, and then from there, her other friend, I think was it Mercedes or Jennifer? I don't remember. One of her other friends, took her to like another place where we had a date, and it was like okay, and they left her there with her other two friends, and then the last one I think with my cousin or something like that, where I don't know. It was like another scavenger hunt spot,
Mhm.
and then eventually she was like, "This is the place where we sat down and fed the ducks and became boyfriend and girlfriend." She was like, "Oh my god, I know exactly where it is." And so my cousin led her, or I think it was her sister. I don't even remember who drove her. She ended up over there where me, Marco, Alex, her family, my family, other close friends were there,
Mhm.
and I hired mariachis to come and like,
Mm.
sing for like an hour, and then Keith was there, and it was awesome. I mean, I proposed. She said, yeah, we all had like a really good time. We did a little photo op thing over by the park, and just love all those pictures. And then afterwards, we went to John and Kim's house and had a big party. It was like, I think we had like 70, 80 people there.
So this was 20. This was March, right?
March 2018.
Yeah. Mm.
And then we were married in November.
Nice. So what
Yeah.
is that, like 8 months or something? Is that right? 8 month
Yeah, the engagement wasn't. I don't think it was that long.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the way to do it, yo. You got to do
Yeah.
those short
Short
engagements.
engagement. Yeah. All right. What about you, yo?
So
How did you meet Chelsea?
so there's a couple stories. Actually, the first time that I met Chelsea was,
Oh yeah.
and I don't even remember what. I guess this might have been 2010
Uh.
or 9. I don't know. I think it was 2009. In like it was probably February or March, something like that. Anyways, I was in college,
Okay.
and we did like a D-Now for this church, and she was a student at the church. I didn't. I mean, I think I mean, it was nothing like.
You got a little loud there.
It was nothing romantic. That's just the first time that I met her was there.
Yeah.
And then I was on rec team in college, which is like a summer ministry that does rec at camps, like church camps, and she was a camper at a couple of those camps, so I'd seen her there too, but still I knew who she was, but didn't. It was never really like she was like a high schooler, so there was not really a lot of interest at that time.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of weird. But then the
And-
real story of our romance was this was in 2015, or I think it might have started in 2014. So in 2014, in the fall of that year, Marco moved in to Rue Carré with me and Justin. Seth had lived there like previously.
Yeah.
So Marco moved in, and I think it was late that year, so like maybe December, I don't know, but at some point late in that year, Justin started dating this girl named Maggie.
Mm.
And
Okay.
and so Maggie lived like in this apartment near the Galleria, and so sometimes like she would invite us over for dinner or whatever.
I remember you
or
guys
she
talking
would
about
come to
that.
our house for dinner, one of the two, and for like a family dinner. And one of the times Chelsea was over there, and Chelsea was a student at HBU, now HCU,
Right. Yeah. Houston
and
Christian.
she worked with Maggie in the events office at HCU. Maggie worked for I'm just gonna say HBU. It's too confusing.
Yeah.
For HBU, she worked at the events office, and Chelsea was her intern there. So I was like, oh man, she's kind of cute, like I thought she was cute anyways, and she was nice and funny and like very like, I don't know, beautiful, presented herself well, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there was one point where Chelsea got her wisdom teeth out. I can't remember if it was in December or January of that, like it was 2015 or 14 or 15, December or January. It was sometime right after Christmas. It could have been the end of December. It could have been early January. She got her wisdom teeth out, and we got her like a get well soon card and some flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Marco and Justin kind of knew that I liked Chelsea a little bit, so like Marco wrote my phone number in the card. And so like
Classic Marco.
the card, it was in the card, and then I was kind of a chicken, I guess. Like I wasn't that good at talking to girls. So I didn't ask her out or anything, but she had my number, and like we were friendly and all that kind of thing. And then at Marco's birthday, we went to Yard House.
I'll never forget that
And
birthday.
they had been kind of telling me, dude, you need to ask Chelsea out on a date. Like, you should get to know her some.
Yeah,
if you
dude.
like her, you should ask her on a date.
I remember that.
So they sit me at the table, like, with her.
Next to her. And you didn't even talk to her, dude.
Yeah, and it was at Yard House. So, like, they try to make the reason why. I was working at the water company at the time, and I was on call, I think.
Yeah.
And so, like, I could get called at any moment, and she was on call as an RA. So we were both like the DDs, kind of. Like, we couldn't drink because we were both on call. So we sat on that end of the table next to each other.
Mm.
And, like, I talked to her, but it was, like, kind of awkward because I think I was nervous. Like, I wanted to ask her out, but I was being kind of a chicken and like
boy was so nervous.
dude, I never asked her out. I had to text her when I got home.
Dude, I remember that night. I met a lot of your HBU friends. I was never like, I didn't go to HBU or
Yeah.
anything, so I didn't know that many people. But I mean, of course, I knew Alex and Justin and Marco, but I had never met like Gio and Danae and Maggie. I don't think I had met Maggie until that day. I might
Yeah.
have. I don't remember. But yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, dude, the whole thing we talked about that most of that night." I remember. First of all, I remember Alex like buying everybody drinks. That was
Oh yeah.
hilarious. Like this one says, and we're like, "Okay, man." And then what was it? Yeah, we were just like, "Oh man, Aaron's so nervous around Chelsea. It's hilarious."
Anyway, so I
Yeah.
asked her on a date, and she says yes. Like, we're gonna go to Catalina Coffee, which is like my favorite
Yeah.
coffee place.
Yeah, classic.
And so I pick her up from the school, and we go to Catalina. Man, we talked for like a long time. I just remember we talked for a long time, and it's like once I got her approval to take her on a date, I wasn't nervous anymore at that point.
Dude, I think you got the opposite of nervous. I remember. Tell the story, dude.
Well, no, I'll get to that point.
All right.
So we went there, and then I remember I think there was a different kind of nerves though, because I remember I ran a red light later, not even like thinking about it on the drive home.
With her?
Yeah, with her in the car,
And what'd she say?
and she was like, that was red," and I was like, whoops. And so, but we talked for a long time, and then I took her back to her apartment at the school, and I went home, and Justin was there, and like I guess, and I was talking to Justin about it, and then Maggie called Justin, and Maggie was saying that she was talking to Chelsea about it, and then somehow it made it to where we went on a double date to like this sushi place that same day with Justin and Maggie and Chelsea and I, and so we ate sushi that same day for dinner. Because the coffee date was like in the middle of the afternoon. It was on a Sunday, I remember that. And then we went on another date to Downhouse,
Downhouse.
which is like I don't even think it's in business anymore, but it was in the Heights.
I
So that was pretty cool. And Chelsea got this like quail pho, and she said that she like was splashing it in my direction on accident, and she was really like embarrassed, but I didn't even notice. So, anyways, there was that, and then we went on another double date to the aquarium with Justin and Maggie, and then at that point I was like, all right, well, here's the other wrench in the thing. At the time, I had applied to Truett Seminary and to HBU for their graduate program, and I got accepted to both, but I didn't really. I know Marco had already decided he was going to Truett, and I was kind of like up in the air because I was like, man, I really like this Chelsea girl, but I don't know if she's like that serious about dating me or not. So, like, I got to shoot my shot so I know which direction to go here. So we went on like a DTR date, and this is where Renee was saying that maybe I got a little bit the opposite of nervous at this point because I was
my guy.
because basically I said, look, like I like you and I want to date you, but and I want to hang out with you, but I can't keep buying your meals unless you're going to be my girlfriend.
Wow. Wow.
And she was like, whoa. And I think part of it was like I came on real strong right there because I was ready. I wanted to date her, but like I wanted to know that she was into it too.
Bro, you said I'm not spending a dime on you till you're my girl.
And so
unless you're my girl.
So then, like, she was, like, not really sure, and she was like, I'm going to take some time to think about it, and I was like, all right, I'll give you time. And I was like,
I love it.
It was so funny because I think it was because I was really serious about it at the time. Like, I wanted to know for sure.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, influence her in a way that would be, like, to where she wasn't being genuine about it. So I just didn't talk to her that whole week. Because I didn't want to, like, make her like me too much and then make it artificial. I don't know what my thought process was, but
No, I think
I didn't talk to
yeah.
her at all that week. And then like the week later, I called her, I think, and I said, and I was just like, I think we should date. And she was like, okay. And then we dated.
I love, dude. That's awesome.
And we dated until
What year was this? I forgot to ask you.
that was 2015.
What year was the Marcos party?
2015.
2015. Oh, it was like a year before me and Becca then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we dated for a long time until let's see. I guess it was January.
Yeah.
In January of 2017, my mom was like, so are you going to propose to Chelsea, or like what's your plan here?
So your mom was the one who planted it?
Well, I kind of knew that I wanted to, but
Well,
she was like, why aren't you, like, what's the hesitation?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, like I'm poor, cuz at the time, like, I was in graduate school and I was working at Starbucks, and like that was just enough to pay my rent and like eat,
Yeah.
I wasn't really like making a lot of money for anything else, and for gas to like go visit Chelsea, cuz that year she lived in Spring. And so with her dad up there, so my mom was like, "Well, don't worry about that." Like, and I didn't know this, but she had like an heirloom ring. It was like my great 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 grandmother's, and so she's like, "I'm gonna mail it to you." And when I found that out, I was like so eager to propose because I wanted to so bad, and it came in the mail. I took it to like a place where they could clean it and everything, and then I remember that for Chelsea's birthday, I built like an IKEA dresser. And that was like my way to go to her house where her dad, because she lived with her dad at the time, so that I could like get alone with him and ask for her hand,
Oh, yeah.
And I remember her dad was like, he gave me her hand, but he didn't really want us to get married that soon because he was worried about like too much, because she was graduating from college that May, and like a lot of other stuff. He thought maybe it was too much for 1 year, but I was kind of like, I don't want to really wait that long. Anyway, so then I think it was the very end of January that I proposed. We went back to Catalina, and I had a friend who worked there, and so I went. I think either the day before or might have been the day of, and I brought this mug that said "Marry Me." Like at the bottom, I wrote it in Sharpie, so that when I ordered my coffee and I drank out of it, she'd see that. And so we did that whole thing. People took our pictures. We were real like low key about it though. Like we just went to El Tiempo, like just the two of us afterwards, and had like some fajitas, and then we just went. I took her back. I drove her back to her house and went home. It was kind of low key, but it was cool. And then we got married in June. So
yeah, we got married in June, but you got married in June of 17, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, Rebecca was my date to that wedding, and we were already a year in. And yeah, and then I think it was cool when our wives started like being friends, and then Marco's wife too, and then we're all like the three best friends that anyone can have.
Yeah,
it's great.
And then just to fast forward a little bit, I guess I'll start on this one, and then I'll pass it off to Renee. But to fast forward a little bit, in 20, I'm trying to backtrack. Okay, it was in 2020.
Okay.
Is when we got pregnant.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Chelsea got pregnant with Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was pretty cool. And then 2021 in March is when he was born. So he's 2 now. And the crazy thing, just to rewind, like I remember one of the things that I always wanted in a wife, and that I saw in Chelsea a lot, was like someone who really loved kids and like just had that kind of maternal caring
Yeah.
instinct, and I always knew, like, I saw that pretty early on with Chelsea, and like um, now seeing it with our own kids. So we had Cohen in March of 2021, and then Chandler just 18 months later, September 2022. So now we got two little boys, and it's just really cool, like seeing how much that love that she has for them, and like seeing like her, even though she didn't really have like the best family life all the time growing up, like seeing her just like work so hard to provide that for our kids is pretty cool, and being like a partner in that is awesome. And man, I'm just like super blessed to have a wife that loves our kids
Yeah.
the way that she does.
Man. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, for us, I think things really started to change. Like we got married, and I was living by myself in a little apartment. And 6 months right after we got married, she lived with me in a tiny apartment. It was a really nice apartment, but it was just small. And we got a larger townhome, still a one bedroom townhome, but we finally got a garage. And and then we weren't there long at all. I think we were there maybe 7 months, 8 months, and we are like, you know what? Let's let's start thinking about getting a house. And I think it was her really just leading that charge. Like, this is what I want. I was like, man, I don't know. All I knew is like I wanted like a 2-story house and a big backyard, right? And I didn't really care about anything else. And yeah, we found a great house, and she it was like her. She found it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. There's a couple houses we even, you know, liked or whatever, and we had to walk away from because of problems, when we did the home inspection and whatnot. I think we made offers on two, and then walked away from one. I think that's what it was, and then we got this one, the one we're in now, and we were here. We bought the house in 2020, in February of 2020, and then March, of course, 2020 is when everything just went crazy with COVID and lockdowns and all that, and just the world was upside down. And my daughter's here. I hear her.
Oh yeah.
And I remember you and Marco were pregnant at the same time.
Yeah, our kids are like 10 days
Yeah,
apart,
you
our
guys,
first.
you had your kid in March of 2020, and I think in April of 2020 we found out we were pregnant. 2021.
Yeah,
So like a month
2021.
after your kid was born, we found out we were pregnant. And then Riley came in right in December 2021. So all three of our kids are born the same year.
Mm.
And that's been a journey, man. That's been so awesome, having a little baby. And yeah. And I agree, man. I mean, part of what attracted me to Rebecca was, well, first of all, she chose to sacrifice a lot of time and energy to help people. I mean, her, just the natural instinct is to help people. And Rebecca, there's 2 times I've seen nurse Rebecca in action, where one was in Mexico. We were there with my family, and this lady had a seizure.
Mm.
And she was cool as a cucumber, man. She knew exactly what to do, exactly how to help, while everybody was freaking out, including myself. And I was like, wow, I married a superhero who like cares about people.
Mm.
And I see that every day with the way she cares about my daughter, and any kind of medical thing, she knows exactly what to do, and it's amazing. I'm always a scared one, dude. Whenever their baby's sick, she gets an allergic reaction to a bug bite or whatever, and all the things that happen with kids when they're not feeling well, and she always knows exactly what to do. and she's just an amazing mom, man. Yeah, I mean, gosh, Riley Joe. I joke that Riley loves me more than Becca, but I don't know, man. Gosh, she every time I'm around her, she's like, "Mama," just loves her mom,
Mm.
loves her mom. I can't put her down, but Rebecca can because I don't know. She just has that connection with Riley. Um, so yeah,
Mm.
and oh man, uh, really went ham on the old Mother's Day this year. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah, that's
Uh,
cool.
Last Tuesday, took normally I take Riley to Bible study with my guys group,
Uh huh.
but I had my mom pick her up so that I could go shopping for her, and I got her a bunch of little things, and I'm giving her little gifts every night until Mother's Day,
Oh dang, that's cool.
and then on Mother's Day I'll get her like the big gifts and stuff. But yeah,
I've
it's
got a babysitter lined up for Saturday,
right on.
and we're going to a real nice restaurant.
Cool, man.
So I might do something. I might get her something small too for like the actual day of Mother's Day. But like with two kids and them both being pretty young, we don't get like that many date nights. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to just
Yeah,
go on a date night. So going to this place
you got to, man.
called Refuge Steakhouse and Whiskey. It's really nice
Oh,
little
that sounds
steakhouse.
cool. Sounds cool.
So we'll probably split something because we're on a budget, but you can still have a nice meal.
Oh yeah.
If you get like a big ribeye, it's still a pretty good split.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah, so um, anyways, what do you have any like memories from past Mother's Days that kind of, or just like maybe an idea of what your Mother's Day would typically be like whenever you're growing up? Like, what kind of things did you do for your mom?
Oh, dude, I had. Yeah, I don't know. Uh, I remember every Mother's Day, my mom would be like, "Just get good grades."
That's funny.
But I mean, yeah, just take. My mom is always, just don't do anything for me, and what that means, what in my mind, and what I found that how that translates is I think my mom and my love language is very similar. Is we like quality time. So my best gift to my mom is taking her out for a nice dinner and just spending the day with her, doing whatever, going to the
Mm.
mall. We go to a movie, just spend a good day with her, and that always seems to be, really good. With Rebecca, it's gifts, and I think I do. I write her a lot of letters. I think.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think, dude. And I'm not really much. I guess I do. Yeah, I can't say I'm not much of a letter writer. I am. I just write letters, because it's hard for me to like talk about someone who means a lot to me, and I just have to write it down and think about it and meditate on it and write it. And what I like about writing letters is it's kind of like finite, like it's down, it's there, it doesn't change, and it'll always kind of be there. And I have memory of like something I've wrote for Rebecca. It was like what I call like the top 10 things I love about Rebecca. And I remember spending like an hour and a half writing that, and just like getting real emotional, dude, because this is like, my wife. This is the mother of my child, my best friend, bro. You know,
Mm.
and yeah, this is someone who puts others before herself, who deeply cares, who loves unconditionally and sacrificially, and it's just it's just a monster and great, you know, and Yeah, that's my wife, dude. Dude, I am nobody to have someone as amazing as my wife, Rebecca, dude. That is that's a miracle.
Mm.
Pull, and I take no credit for it, but I'm so grateful, man. It's awesome, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and she's we support each other and we love each other and thick and thin, yo. It's awesome,
Mm.
you know. And I wouldn't have it any other way, man. You know. So yeah.
Yeah. When I was growing up, we would always like. I remember that we would always make like breakfast and lunch on because it's on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and we didn't really ever have big dinners on Sundays, but we would make breakfast and lunch for my mom, like whatever she wanted, and like as a my siblings and my dad and I like work together and to make the meal and make sure my mom wasn't doing any of the cooking or cleaning or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But and I don't remember getting her that extravagant of gifts, but I do remember doing that. But I think the cool thing, like, it's been so cool to have kids and like then be able to celebrate Mother's Day with Chelsea because I think like she doesn't have like the best relationship with her mom, and so Mother's Day has always been like kind of hard for her.
Mm.
And so it's been pretty cool to like be able to celebrate Chelsea as a mother on that day and kind of like, I don't know, redeem the day a little bit more because I think in the
Yeah.
past it was a little bit hard for her to see everybody else like be able to celebrate their moms and her not have like the tightest relationship with her mom and that kind of thing. So that to me has been like really cool the last 2 years, because this is her third Mother's Day as a mom. Even though Cohen's only 2, he was born before Mother's Day, so we got to celebrate that one early.
Yeah.
But man, that's really cool. And another thing I remember, we have this really cool picture in our house of from last year on Mother's Day, because they did like baby dedication at our church.
Mm.
So like Cohen was dedicated then because they hadn't done one the year before, I think because of COVID or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a picture of me and Cohen and Chelsea and her dad like all together, and I don't know. I just love that picture, and Chandler's in her belly at the time too, so he's kind of in it. But man, it's an awesome picture, and just seeing like Cohen's face like is almost like a carbon copy of Chelsea's face, so that's pretty cool. And I don't know,
It does look like his mama.
I love being a dad and raising kids, and I think that I couldn't ask for a better person than Chelsea to raise them with.
Yeah.
So blessings, just like
Straight up, man.
it's
That's
like
cool.
overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah. I think we can close out by talking about our origin story. I think.
We could if you want to, unless you want to save that for another episode.
Oh yeah, we could save that for Father's Day.
Oh yeah, just
Yeah, we gotta do a
how we
Father's
became
Day.
each other's dad.
Well,
But maybe I think we'll do something for Father's Day.
we
for
gotta
sure.
do a
We'll do
Father's
something
Day.
cool.
Yeah, Father's Day will be a cool one.
Maybe that's when we'll finally do our dad draft or something.
Or
I
dad
don't
draft.
know.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you've been listening to
Well-
two dads,
Talking about our baby
our
mamas,
baby mamas and wives, and
and our regular mamas too.
Yeah.
My mom's pretty great.
yeah, my mom's great too. I love you, Mom.
I bought you a card, but I forgot to send it in the mail, so it'll probably be there a couple days after Mother's Day. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I hid my gift to you somewhere, Mom. Yeah. Can't wait to give it to you on Sunday.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sunday.
All right, man. Well, this is Renee and Aaron signing off on another DadPod episode. Thanks
Yeah.
for sticking with us. It's been fun.
We'll try to get more consistent
Ah,
with our drops.
yeah. All right. Appreciate y'all.
All right.